Welcome to the channel and welcome back if you're returning and you've been here before and you've seen my content, and if that's the case, thank you. And if it's your first time here, please do keep watching. Hopefully I can add value, and if I do add value, please hit the like button or hit the subscribe button so you can see more of what I have to say and what I have to share. So I'm recording this in January of 2020, which makes it a new year, and for some, well, technically some way it's a new decade, but there's a whole lot of argument about that, but I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, it's the new year, and not that that really matters much to me personally, but it matters to the general public. And if you're working with the general public and everyone in your client base or target market is in the general public, then I guess in some way it has to matter to you. So welcome, and hope everyone's doing fine. Hope everyone's okay. I'm well. For me, like I said, it really doesn't matter much. It's really a matter of continuing to grow, continuing to learn, continuing to improve my life and creating myself and being a better person. There's just some things that I've just had on my mind that I thought I should just share with you guys that I think may help in creating more flexible and more people who are willing to do things a bit more. Okay, I don't know how to say this, but just bear with me as I talk. I hope I will start to make more sense. So here's where I want to start. How long does it actually take for the world to revolve around the sun? So the world being the earth, this planet on which we live, you and I, place we live in. The time it takes for us to revolve, let's say from this point wherever we are now, to go all the way around to get back to where it is now, is we've dubbed it the year. We call that the year. And now when you start asking how long it actually takes for us to do one revolution around the sun, you find that the answer is 365 days and a quarter of a day. So 365.256. That's the amount of time it takes in terms of days. You can actually find the number in terms of minutes or in seconds or whatever, but let's simplify it to days, which is the number that I remember, and the number that makes sense to the general public. I remember we did this calculation when I was in school, and the professor was quite intrigued by this number, and it didn't mean much to me, but it means a lot more now. So my point is, it takes that long to go around the sun. Sharp. But now, where do we start counting? At what point in this circle? Because the circle is an ellipsoid, but let's just say it's a circle. We go around the sun. It's like a ring. Where does a ring start? Where does it end? It's continuous. But we have decided to take a certain point and make that our starting point. And on that point, we have said that this will be where the 1st of January begins. We had to start somewhere. We have to choose a reference point. Even in almost any calculation in maths and in physics, there has to be a reference point that you have from where everything will start, and that's our reference point. And now in the world, our reference point, the general reference point, is the ocean. That's like ground zero. When you go below that, it's negative. When you go above that, it's positive. But that is our reference point. So we chose a reference point. Well, someone did, some people did, but we conformed to that. There's a reference point that we chose, that it's the 1st of January. That's where a year starts. And we go around, come back, and the year ends, we start again, and so on and so on. But there's many different cultures in the world, many different religions in the world, and different religions and different cultures actually conform to different reference points, and not just different reference points, but also different cycles within the year. We have months that divide our year, and we have seasons as well that determine well, okay, it's just seasons, but we use those to divide our year. And back then we used to use them to sort of plan our migration patterns, our plantation patterns, and so on and so on. Well, now with all the science and everything, we just plant all year round and stuff like that. But generally what I'm trying to get at is that there are people in the same world that have their New Year's at a different point than you probably do. So yes, we as the general public use the 1st of January as the New Year. I just spoke to a guy who sells at a tuck shop, and he's Muslim, I think, and his New Year, well, his culture's New Year, well, the coming one at least, is going to be in May. And I remember when I was in varsity still, there was a professor of ours who, I don't remember where he was from, but there was a time in the middle of the year, well, the middle of our year, where he told us that it's a special day in his religion because it's the New Year. And we're like, it's the middle of the year, how does that work? But all these things, when they come to me now, it just starts to come together, that it's a ring, it's a circle. We're just going around the sun, and we're just choosing points. We're just choosing that, yeah, we start here. So what's my point really? What's my point here? I know I've just been mumbling around for the past 6 minutes, but I do have a point. Please bear with me. My point is, forget New Year's resolutions. Maybe it works for you, but I know for most people it doesn't. So forget those. Just create let's call it a new you resolution, new you's resolution, where at any point, at any time, any day you feel like you want to achieve something, start the following day or something. But don't wait for the whole calendar year for you to start something. Because I know I'm recording this on the 6th of January, and I know by now a lot of y'all's New Year's resolutions are gone. They're dusted. They didn't even go, probably didn't even start with it. Or maybe you did start for 1 day, maybe 2 days, at best 3 days, but it's all gone by now. And that's just a pattern that keeps on repeating year in, year out, and that's general year in, general year out. But if you forget all that, and at any point in your life you want to do something, you start doing it, and you create a new you resolution that I want to start painting walls, and you start painting walls. Don't make it a New Year's resolution where you wait for the 1st of January, where everyone's excited about all those New Year's resolutions, and then things come up and then you can't do it anymore, and then there's all that and that and that and that, and maybe you're broke and you're busy thinking about that, and that's just really all over your mind, and think, hey, but paint is expensive, now I can't go buying paint, and it's a whole lot of things that are there that are making you not carry out your New Year's resolution. But if you make it a new Year's resolution that you can carry out at any point in your life whenever you feel like it, then you now reduce that traction and that expectation that comes from the general public that there's something you wanted to do and now you're not doing it, when everyone is doing something and you want to be a part of it and whatever. No, just make it about you. Make it about your goals, make it about your achievements, make it about your fulfillment and your happiness, and just start whenever you feel like you should do something. You just start. I mean, if others have the power to choose a point on this circle, on this ring, on this ellipsis, on this orbit that we have around the sun, if anyone has the power to choose that, yeah, here is where we start, then why can't you choose for yourself? Why do you have to wait for what others have decided is a convenient time for them to wait? You don't know what that person had smoked. You don't know what part of the planet they lived in. Maybe, I mean, it's winter in the northern hemisphere. Maybe it's perfect to start in winter. Maybe it works well for them. I'm in the southern hemisphere and it's flipping hot now. It's the middle of summer, and it's perhaps it's not a great time to start a year, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. Anytime I want to start something, I start. I don't wait for a month. I don't wait for a week. I don't wait for someone to die or for, I don't know, pigs to fly. I started, and if I fail, I fail. It's the way that we learn and the way that we experience is actually by doing stuff and failing and learning and succeeding and actually doing them. By experience is how we get to do it. So if you start, well, you start and then you carry on doing it. Don't wait for a year to start. Don't wait for something that was dictated by someone else. It really does not help for us to wait for the year to begin, for us to get paid, for, I don't know, us to get a girlfriend, or for us to get married, or let me wait for my baby to get born, or let me wait for all that is just excuses. You have the tools now, you have the will now. start now. Start whenever it is that you have the idea. Prepare for it and start. And it's not gonna go your way from the get. It's really gonna. There's always stuff that pull you back and deter you and tempt you into a different direction. All that always exists, not just for you but for everyone. Everyone you look up to has had those troubles, but they had to avoid them. They had to find a way to ignore them and to get through them, and now they're able to say the things that they're able to say because they had the strength back then to get through all that. And it doesn't take anyone extraordinary to do this. It doesn't take anyone magical or superpowers, or no, it takes an ordinary human being who makes a decision to create themselves differently, to become a different person, to grow into a certain person that you weren't before. It doesn't matter everything that you've done before, the fact that you've been trying New Year's resolutions and it hasn't been working, the fact that you've gone through 40 birthdays and you told yourself you're gonna do this and that, now that you're 29, now that you're 30, now that you're 47, now that you're 37, and now you're 40 and you haven't executed any of those things. It doesn't matter. Start now. Now is the time. Just carry on, move on, start, succeed, fail, learn, and keep going. Keep on going. Now I know this was quite patchy, but I really hope that I made sense if you look at the whole video, and I really hope that I added value, and I really hope that whoever's watching actually goes out and does what they want to do, and not necessarily wait for the next year to start doing something. Maybe try the Muslim New Year. Maybe that's closer. Maybe that'll help.